You start your morning with breakfast. A bowl of heart-healthy cereal, low-fat yogurt, whole wheat toast. Everything the nutrition labels tell you is good for you. But 2 hours later, you're hungry again. Your energy has dropped, and you're not sure why. What if the foods you've been choosing, foods you trust, aren't supporting your health the way you thought? Today, we're examining 3 common diet patterns that research suggests may be working against your goals. These are patterns that many of us follow without realizing their effects. No extreme claims, no quick fixes, just a clear look at what modern nutrition science has learned and what you can do with that information. Let's start with the first pattern. Pattern number 1, relying heavily on processed foods that carry health claims. When you walk through a grocery store, you see them everywhere. Heart-healthy whole grains, low-fat, fortified with vitamins. These labels can be reassuring. But let's look at what research has found about how these foods affect the body. When you eat many processed grain products, even whole grain versions, they break down quickly into glucose. Your blood sugar can rise significantly within minutes. Your body responds by releasing insulin to manage that glucose. This is a normal response, but the speed and degree matter. A study published in the Journal of the American Dietetic Association examined 549 common foods. Researchers measured compounds called AGEs, advanced glycation end products. These compounds form when sugars and proteins combine during high heat processing. The study found that many breakfast cereals, crackers, and packaged breads contain notably high levels of these compounds. Research suggests that over time, dietary AGEs may contribute to several processes in the body. They can affect collagen, the protein that helps maintain skin structure and elasticity. They may contribute to changes in blood vessel flexibility, which is associated with cardiovascular aging. They're linked to increased inflammatory markers in the blood. Here's the key point. A study from the Icahn School of Medicine at Mount Sinai found that when people reduce their intake of high AGE foods, their inflammatory markers decreased by up to 60% over 4 months. That's a significant change from a dietary adjustment. So what does this mean practically? Foods that are minimally processed tend to have lower levels of these compounds. Foods in their whole form, eggs, vegetables, fish, unprocessed meats, are associated with better inflammatory profiles. A breakfast built around whole foods might look like this: 2 or 3 eggs prepared with olive oil or butter, sautéed vegetables on the side, fresh berries, black coffee or tea. No package needed. No health claims required. If you're curious about the difference, try 1 week of whole food breakfasts. Notice how your hunger patterns change. Notice your mid-morning energy levels. Many people report feeling more satisfied longer. But this is just the first pattern. The second one is equally important. Pattern number 2, focusing primarily on calorie counts while overlooking food quality. Let's look at a comparison. Person A eats 500 calories from highly processed sources. A bagel with low-fat cream cheese, orange juice, a granola bar. Person B eats 500 calories from whole food sources. 3 eggs, half an avocado, a cup of berries. Same calorie number, but research suggests very different metabolic responses. Here's what studies have observed. When you eat rapidly digesting processed foods, blood sugar rises quickly. Insulin increases to match. Within about 90 minutes, blood sugar often drops below where it started. This pattern is associated with increased hunger hormones, particularly one called ghrelin. You feel hungry again, sometimes intensely, and insulin levels are elevated. The body tends to store energy rather than burn stored fat. With a whole food meal, the pattern looks different. Blood sugar rises more gradually. The insulin response is more moderate. Protein in the meal triggers satiety hormones. Healthy fats slow digestion. Research suggests you may feel satisfied for 4 to 5 hours or longer. A large Harvard study followed over 120,000 people for up to 20 years. It was published in the New England Journal of Medicine. The researchers found that food quality was more strongly associated with weight changes than calorie quantity alone. People who emphasized high-quality whole foods tended to lose weight over time, without strict calorie counting. Those who ate more processed foods tended to gain weight, even when they restricted calories. Here's why this matters. Your body doesn't simply count calories. It responds to hormonal signals. When you eat highly processed foods regularly, research suggests it can affect leptin, the hormone that signals fullness to your brain. The signal may not work as effectively. Ghrelin, your hunger hormone, may stay elevated longer after meals. Frequent insulin spikes may train your body to rely primarily on glucose for energy rather than being able to access stored fat efficiently. Scientists call this metabolic flexibility, your body's ability to switch between fuel sources. Whole foods appear to support this flexibility better than processed foods. So what's the practical approach? Focus on food quality rather than counting every calorie. Prioritize protein at each meal, around 25 to 30 grams. Research shows protein is the most satisfying macronutrient. Include healthy fats, olive oil, avocados, nuts, fatty fish like salmon. These provide steady energy. Add fiber-rich vegetables. They slow digestion and help stabilize blood sugar. In practice, breakfast, an omelet with vegetables and cheese, coffee with cream, if desired. Lunch, grilled chicken over mixed greens with olive oil dressing, nuts, and colorful vegetables. Dinner, baked salmon with roasted Brussels sprouts and a moderate portion of sweet potato. You eat until satisfied, not stuffed. No measuring needed. People who make this shift often report more consistent energy through the afternoon, better mental clarity, improved sleep quality, and yes, easier weight management, without rigid tracking. When you emphasize food quality, many of the metabolic processes seem to regulate more naturally. But there's one more pattern that affects these processes, and it happens every evening. Pattern number 3, eating too close to bedtime, and how it may affect your metabolism overnight. It's a common scenario. It's 9 p.m. You've finished dinner hours ago. You're relaxing, and you feel like having a snack. Maybe ice cream, maybe crackers, maybe you're just finishing leftovers. It seems harmless. But let's look at what research has found. Your body operates on what scientists call a circadian rhythm, an internal 24-hour cycle. This rhythm influences your metabolism. During daytime hours, your body is optimized for digestion. Insulin sensitivity tends to be higher. You process nutrients more efficiently. As evening approaches, things shift. Your body begins preparing for rest and repair. Melatonin levels rise. Growth hormone prepares to increase during sleep. But when you eat late in the evening, it may interfere with these natural transitions. Your digestive system remains active. Blood flow continues directing toward your gut. Your core body temperature stays higher than optimal for deep sleep. Here's what research has observed. When you eat within 3 hours of sleep, insulin levels can remain elevated through part of your overnight fast. During sleep, your body would normally rely more on stored fat for energy, especially as growth hormone rises. Around midnight, elevated insulin may interfere with this fat-burning process. Research published in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism found that late-night eating was associated with reduced fat oxidation during sleep by more than 50% in some studies. Changes in hunger hormones the following day, higher morning blood glucose levels, and reduced insulin sensitivity the next day. In other words, eating late may make you hungrier and less metabolically efficient the following day. There's also the sleep quality factor. Your core body temperature needs to drop for deep sleep to occur. Active digestion keeps it elevated. Your brain undergoes a cleaning process during deep sleep. Scientists call it the glymphatic system. But active digestion may interfere with this process. The result, you may wake up feeling less rested. Mental fog, lower energy, reaching for caffeine and quick energy sources. Let's look at patterns from the world's longest living populations, regions scientists call blue zones. In Okinawa, Japan, there's a practice called hara hachi-bu, eating until about 80% full, with the evening meal finishing by 6 or 7 p.m. In Ikaria, Greece, where people commonly live past 90, the largest meal is typically at lunch. Dinner is smaller and earlier. These are modern diet trends. They're cultural patterns that have existed for generations. Modern research is now studying why this pattern may be beneficial. When you stop eating 3 to 4 hours before bed, several things happen. Insulin levels drop naturally. Fat-burning processes can activate overnight. Growth hormone peaks more effectively. Sleep quality may improve. You wake up with genuine hunger, a sign of healthy metabolic function. Here's a practical approach. Establish a kitchen closes time, about 3 hours before your target bedtime. If you typically sleep at 10 p.m., aim to finish eating by 7 p.m. Make your evening meal satisfying. Emphasize protein and healthy fats. If you apply these 3 principles, here's what many people observe. First week, more stable energy, changes in hunger patterns, improved sleep quality. Second week, reduced cravings for sugary foods, better mental clarity, less morning grogginess. Third week, clothes may fit differently. Some people notice less joint discomfort and clearer skin, more stable mood throughout the day. Fourth week, a sense that your body is working with you rather than against you. Weight management feels less forced, more natural. More importantly, internal markers often improve. Blood sugar levels may stabilize. Insulin sensitivity can improve. Inflammatory markers often decrease. Sleep architecture may deepen. Hormone balance can shift positively. These are changes that support long-term health. Here's a straightforward shopping list to get started. Proteins: eggs, chicken thighs, ground beef, salmon, sardines. Vegetables: spinach, broccoli, bell peppers, zucchini, cauliflower. Healthy fats: avocados, olive oil, nuts, seeds, butter. Fruits: berries, apples, oranges, whole fruit not juice. Starches if desired: sweet potatoes, white rice, oats. Simple, accessible, available at any grocery store. A time-saving approach. Spend a couple of hours on Sunday preparing for the week. Cook proteins in batches. Wash and chop vegetables. Store everything in containers. Monday through Friday becomes straightforward. Less decision fatigue. Less stress. Simply assemble and eat. Some common questions. What about social occasions? Enjoy them. One meal won't undermine consistent progress. The goal is general consistency, not absolute perfection. Research suggests that following these principles 80% of the time produces most of the benefits. What about coffee? Black coffee is fine. Adding real cream is reasonable if you enjoy it. Skip added sugars. Your taste preferences will likely adapt within a week or 2. Isn't healthy food expensive? Eggs cost about $3 to $4 per dozen. Chicken thighs are often $2 to $3 per pound. Frozen vegetables are around $1 to $2 per bag. These are comparable to many processed foods, and the long-term health benefits may reduce medical expenses significantly. You now have information that can help you make more informed choices. These 3 patterns help explain why some dietary approaches feel difficult, why energy fluctuates, why hunger seems unpredictable, why sleep doesn't always feel restorative. But more importantly, you have practical approaches. Choose whole foods over processed alternatives. Focus on food quality alongside quantity. Time your eating to support your body's natural rhythms. No supplements required. No expensive programs. Just principles supported by research. Principles that align with how human bodies have functioned for thousands of years. Your next month is an opportunity. Start tomorrow morning with a whole food breakfast. Protein-centered. Nothing from a package with health claims. Notice how you feel. Pay attention to the changes. Give it time. We'd appreciate hearing which pattern you're addressing first. Leave a comment below. We're building a community of people who value science-based nutrition information. If this video provided useful information, please consider sharing it with someone who might benefit. And if you'd like more detailed information, meal planning guides, and additional research summaries, check the description below. Your health decisions are important. Small, consistent changes often matter more than dramatic overhauls. You have the information. The rest is up to you. This is Live Well. Thank you for watching.